Hello everyone! I wanted to share with you the beautiful blooms on my DTPS Soho Pearl. She is a gorgeous little fowl. This was the one that was gifted to me about a month ago. So I wanted to go through my collection and show you what's in bloom and also what is spiking. There's not a lot in bloom in collections usually in September and October because they are gearing back up to spike again. So I have so many of mine that are in spike. I can't wait to show you how many are spiking. And I'll go through some of the beautiful blooms that are in my kitchen right now. And here is my dendrobium that I have nicknamed Princess Peach. Gorgeous blooms on this dendrobium. I am so happy with this gorgeous spike of flowers. The color, the intensity of the color is just amazing. And also I have my fowl, Soho Vivian. This one is another one that was gifted to me about a month ago. And I love the color of this little miniature. Very charming little bloom as well. And I also have some blooms still on my Soho Lawrence Tahiti Sunset. I absolutely love this fowl. The intensity of the color of the blooms, I just love it. And also it has a very unique fruity smell in the evenings. It's just delightful. And look who is still in bloom. I absolutely love this little fowl. The color is gorgeous. The blooms are waxy and just that color. Every time I walk in my kitchen, it's just a showstopper. So I love sharing this one with you all. She also has a fan club going. She's a very popular one among my subscribers, so I wanted to be sure to share her with you all. And this deep plum dendrobium is still in bloom. Just absolutely beautiful. I love it when the dendrobiums bloom because when they bloom, they seem to bloom for just a long time. Most of my dendrobiums stay in bloom for 3 or 4 months, so they're very long-lasting flowers. So this one is just the most unusual color. I love this one. And I've had several requests just to show you all what all is spiking in my collection. I am so glad that they are spiking the 1st of October. This is the time when I really prefer all of my orchids to spike, especially my phals, because I can fertilize them at a higher rate this time of the year. It is still very, very warm. So the spikes grow very quickly. When they spike at the end of December, it takes a long, long time for those spikes to bloom, months sometimes, because you can't fertilize them as much, of course. So this is my phal Carmen. This spike has grown. I've never seen anything grow this fast on an orchid. So it is already setting buds. So phal Carmen is in spike and she's going to be blooming soon. And here is my water culture tester phal. And yes, it is in spike and getting a new leaf. So I'm so very proud of the growth that I've seen in this one, especially this summer. It's just done so very well. And here's my huge phal Marianne. This is one of my oldest phals in my collection. It's about 10 years old. Blooms for me every single year, and I don't know why she is losing this leaf over here. I thought that I fertilized her plenty, but obviously I didn't. So I'm probably going to increase the amount of fertilizer that I give her starting in the spring. Not very many of my phals have lost leaves this year at all. As a matter of fact, just this one and one of my miniatures. So that's a much better ratio than it was last year. This time last year I was losing those bottom leaves. And now that I'm using the CalMag and extra Epsom salts, I'm not losing nearly as many leaves. And I'm also using, the seaweed extract, and I believe that's helping too. So not losing as many leaves, but I want to make sure she doesn't lose a leaf next year. but this is a good strong spike. And now I'm in my upstairs grow room, and this is April's Hope, one of my dendrobiums. She had 2 blooms last year, and this spike looks very promising. So I make sure that I don't move my dendrobiums once they start spiking. I leave them right where they are because in my experience, they are very sensitive to being moved, especially when they're spiking. I've lost too many spikes by moving a dendrobium when it's spiking, so I'm not doing that anymore. So this spike is doing really, really well. I cannot wait for this one to bloom again. And this huge dendrobium that you see here is the very first one that I placed in moss this spring. And she's got 2 spikes. She's got this one right here, and then she's got one coming through right here on top of this leaf. So I'm going to have 2 spikes on this dendrobium. That's a first. No, actually my dendrobium Burana Jade Fantasy had two spikes, but this one is 2, so that's awesome. I'll take as many spikes as I can get. So exciting when they spike. And most of my miniatures are now spiking. I'm so happy. This is Buddy. I just noticed a spike on him this morning. It just started. And then the one back here on the window, let's see if I can move this around. Good spike starting on it. I cannot wait for it to bloom. This will be my first rebloom on this orchid. I love this one. And here's my little mini Intensity. And as you see, it has a leaf drying up as well. So those are the only 2 leaves that I've had dry up on me this fall. That's pretty incredible. That is so much better than what it was this time last year. But this plant has grown 3 new leaves this year. So that's pretty incredible too. 3 new leaves plus a spike. Yes, I'll take that growth. And my little starfowl, she is in spike as well. And I just wanted to show you the difference in the size of the leaves. Of course, this is the newest one. She's growing another one. And these were the ones from last year. So do you see? I think she's been fertilized well, and I think she's very happy. So this is the one that I really thought I was going to lose. And I placed her in New Zealand sphagnum moss and started fertilizing her really well, and the rest is history. She's happy. She's spiking now too as well. And here's an overview of my dendrobium forest. I've had a lot of good growth with my dendrobiums this year. I am so happy to say. As a matter of fact, for about the past 2 months, I have really been working hard keeping these fertilized and flushed out. They have grown very well as a result of that. So I'm really, really pleased with the growth that I have seen this summer. And I placed these 2 miniatures out here in a sunny location right around my dendrobiums. The nights are getting a little bit cooler here, so I decided to put them out here for about a week and just see if maybe the cooler weather, especially at night, maybe that would tell them to spike. And the one on the right here, this is my little violet. She hasn't spiked yet, but this is Maggie. This is the one that had the magnesium deficiency that I did the video on. And when I first bought her, she was purple. She was so magnesium deficient. And I noticed the other day she is spiking. Yes, that little bump beside that larger root, that is a spike. So I'm very happy to say Maggie is doing really well. And I forgot to include my new white fowl that was gifted to me a few months ago. This one is about ready to, well, it's setting buds already. Oh my goodness, that looks different than it did the other day. So I will stop fertilizing it at this point until it starts blooming out some. So I'll have a beautiful white fowl in bloom really soon. And I'll end this video with my beautiful dendrobium that I nicknamed Princess Peach. And you all be highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. And we'll talk to you all next time.